What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to another one. On this video, I want to talk about Stephen A. Smith, Cam Newton, and a few others. They sounded off on Shedeur Sanders. Well, it was Stephen A. Smith, mainly Cam Newton. They were talking about Shedeur recently made a comment saying that just looking at the quarterback play around the league, he certainly could do better. And so we're going to talk about that. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with what he said, but we know that Shedeur is in a position where anything he say is going to be scrutinized. That's just the position he's in right now. And I'm going to talk about in this video that more than likely we will see Shedeur play this year, but that's contingent upon what the Browns do. Now, we know, I'm going to say this real quick. Just based on how happy they were in that win against Green Bay, it was almost like when they were going back to the locker room, it was almost like they won the Super Bowl. Okay. That's not that good. That's not good, folks. Like in their minds, they weren't supposed to win that game, but since they won the game, they were treating it like they literally just won a damn Super Bowl, man. The way they were so happy. Don't get me wrong. It was, that game came down to the wire and the kicker had to win the game for him. So, but look, who gave that kicker confidence when he missed that field goal the last game? It was Shedeur that went up to him. So Shedeur is in a unique position right now because in his mind, he's not a fifth round quarterback. In his mind, I don't feel like he is either. And of course, he's going to feel a certain type of way. I mean, he's not a fifth round quarterback. Okay, he should have went in the first, no later than the second round. But we know, now that I go back to the draft for a second, the writing was already on the wall because they had said on draft day that they're not taking no more than 2 quarterbacks in the first round. They said that. But here in present day, Shedeur just recently said something, and we know that everything he say, is going to make headlines, and Stephen A. Smith and them sounded off on it. So let's take a listen to what they're saying.
That has not dented his confidence at all. He says he'll be ready when the time comes. Take a listen.
I don't think playing, is in my hands. So I think based on the situation, it's if things happen, things pan out where I play, then I'll be out there and I'll be ready to play. So I'm ready to play right now. I know if you see the quarterback player in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that.
You see, when he said that, when you see the quarterback play around the league right now, he's capable of doing better than that. I believe him. I think he is capable of doing better than that. But a lot of it's not going to be perceived too well, So let's listen to what they're saying.
Do you think he's capable of playing better than some of the starting QBs in the league?
I do think he's capable of it. I don't like what he just said in that last comment. You got to be careful. You just got to be careful. Every little thing gets held against him. And most of it is not his fault. He seems to be a great kid. Obviously, he threw for over 4,000 yards last year at Colorado, completed over 72% of his passes. He was balling. Okay, give him credit where credit is due. And I think that even though he struggled in one preseason game and that left him at the QB3 spot behind Dylan Gabriel and, of course, Joe Flacco, do I think he has the potential to show up in the National Football League and to make some noise? Sure. But primarily is because I believe so much in his dad. I believe, I think that his pedigree, what his dad says about him, all of those things play a role because I think the man has the ability to evaluate and analyze football. Having said that, we just have to be mindful of what we say and what kind of position it puts ourselves in, because when it comes to him.
Yeah, when it comes to him, I agree with Stephen A. He definitely is going to have to be mindful because they're going to be like, oh, yeah? Somebody out there is going to be like, oh, yeah? So you play better than most quarterbacks in the league. They can easily put him in a position to fail. Just like think about that they're going to bring this up, but think about that last preseason game that Shedeur played in. And look what the Browns did. They set him up for failure. They put him in with like 98% of the players that was on that field with him. They didn't make the team or the practice squad. A few of them did, but that's what they put him out there with. So they did not put him in the best position possible to outshine Gabriel or Joe Flacco in that game. So, yeah, he just have to be mindful, man. He's in a – and then a lot of people are talking about he turned down Baltimore and Philly. There's some truth to that because he didn't deny it. He just said, my life doesn't revolve around that right now. He could have easily said, no, I didn't turn them down. But he more than likely would have been in a better position with Baltimore, though, than where he is now. Because if Baltimore wanted him, it's like they wanted him. These people didn't want him. The story is, and Eric Dickerson just recently talked about it, somebody called him and said, hey, look, draft him. They were like, we don't want to draft him. So he's in a worse position now, I think. But will he get his opportunity this year? More than likely he will. It depends on the record that they have. That's why I say let's wait till week 5. And after week 5, let's see where they're at after week 5 and see if they could get some more wins like Green Bay. And also, if they do start Dylan Gabriel, if Dylan Gabriel start balling out, there's no reason to take Dylan Gabriel out the game. So we may not even see Shedeur this year. But if Dylan Gabriel starts performing terribly, yeah, we more than likely will see the emergency quarterback.
He's going to be judged a little bit differently. And that last comment players have been put in bad spots by coaches, by an organization, just to show them up, to submerge their egos.
Yep.
I've seen it happen. And don't tell me it can't happen in football, where coaching is far, far, far more valuable.
But it happened to him.
It happened to him.
Did you know the third preseason game that we saw Shedeur play, it was like, bro, 87 to 94% of the players that you were playing with or trying to compete with did not make the team. In no capacity. Not even practice squad. So, I mean, do I have a problem with what he said? What he said? Being a quarterback in the National Football League comes with a level of responsibility that you have to grow into. It happens to us all right? But I see a guy like Shedeur, and he does have trade value.
He's going to start to say the Cincinnati Bengals. At this point, guys, look, if he was backing up Lamar Jackson, actually, more than likely, if he had went to Baltimore, he would have been a third-string quarterback, more than likely. Or he could have boosted his way up to back up Lamar Jackson. If that was the case, he would have had ultimate trade value, which he could have went to the Bengals. They could have traded him there. But I don't even think Baltimore wanted to trade Shedeur. They wanted to keep him. But he does still have trade value, though. He does, because we saw what he did in the Carolina game. And everybody know the last preseason game, Shedeur was set up for failure. So, but we saw the tight windows that he threw in. So we saw the baseline of his attributes. That was the bait. We saw the baseline of his attributes and what Shedeur could do. We saw it. So some people say he just have to throw the ball away and he holds on to the ball too long. He's not the only one. I'm starting to look around the league, right? He's not the only one having that problem that's holding on to the ball too long. Lamar Jackson's having that problem. And I don't know why. I don't know why he's not throwing the ball. But see, with quarterbacks like that, they believe they can make a play at any given second. C.J. Stroud had that problem when he played Travis and them. So those type of quarterbacks that can make a play right away, they just believe they can make a play. So, it is what it is. But he's not the only one having that problem. But he does have trade value. I think Cam is going to talk about Cincinnati.
I name a team right now that's worth a try. Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. I mean, bro, and then you get a good situation. Okay, you light a fire, you get everybody excited. He can learn behind, obviously when Joe Burrow comes back. But the petty Cam and me want to say, hey, Miami. What can you do? Losing?
Hey, listen. At this point, how about it? How about Miami? Because the coach it can't hurt the coach at this point. Like, you might as well bring him in. It's not going to hurt him. I mean, if you bring him to Miami, that they were laughing, but that's not. I think he could be a good fit in Miami. Why not? Why can't he go down there and try to figure out something? Because some receivers need something.
Yeah, I don't know. Owen.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something else. I know what y'all gonna start tripping when I say this one. Why not Jacksonville? Why can't he go down there and back up Trevor Lawrence? Because Trevor is mid, yo. Listen. I know people are saying Travis is having a hard time getting touches down there. All the wide receivers ain't getting that many touches. The last game, the top receiver had 5 receptions. That's it. 4 receptions, 3 receptions. You know, they don't really have like a one person getting all the majority of the receptions. That's not going to happen. I know that's not going to happen. Like Travis is not going to get the majority of the touches that he got at Colorado. We know that's not going to happen. But they drafted him number 2 though, overall. They drafted this guy number 2 overall, Jacksonville, to play him how they're playing him. You know why they did that? Anybody know? They drafted him because he's popular. They drafted him for the popularity of it as well. They know that he's a marketable kid. It's not just football all the time, right? He's marketable. Now, could they use him more and he could do a lot of things? Yes. Is it still early in the season and we're going to have to wait and see? Of course, it's still early in the season. He's still getting his bearings. They're still trying to figure it out, but he's marketable. The fans like him. He's a fan favorite. You know what I'm saying? He interacts with the fans. He signed autographs. He do all the little intangible things, the little things. That made him valuable as well. So I just wanted to say that. I wanted to say that for people that say, well, damn, they wasted the number 2 pick. They kind of did because of the way they're using him. You got to go out there and let this kid fly, you know, or take a blueprint out of how Coach Prime used him. Now, I don't want to hear they say, well, he's an NFL, it's harder. They're making it harder. And, you know, I understand because you got to justify paying another guy $5 million a year. So you got to play that guy as well. So it's a unique situation that the NFL hasn't been in that much. But shout out to Travis. Let's continue.
That was just me being facetious. But the reality is, Shedeur is in a situation that even when we had our discussions, it's like, bro, stay ready. And understanding not just the quarterback position, understanding the professionalism that this game expects you to be. The first one in, last one to leave, knowing how to treat your body. When you see certain things like, to the best of your ability.
Listen, I know how to be honest and self-aware, right? Deion Sanders is a big brother to me. I love Shedeur Sanders. I think he prepares. I think he works hard. I think he's dedicated to his craft. I look at the NFL, Tennessee, Atlanta, the Giants, New Orleans, Cincinnati, the Jets, Cleveland, Miami, Houston, Carolina, Denver, Minnesota, New England. I think all of those teams have the exact same record if Shedeur Sanders is their quarterback. Also, I think this, though. I've not heard from Jalen Milroe this year. He's actually played snaps in games. I haven't heard from Quinn Ewers this year. He's the 3rd quarterback in Miami. I haven't heard from Dylan Gabriel, who's actually the number 2 in Cleveland. The thing about Shedeur Sanders is he also has to understand what comes along with being Shedeur Sanders. What is the microscope of being Shedeur Sanders? How everything that I say and do is going to be critiqued as to how prepared I am to lead an organization. Because for whatever it's worth, I tell this to any young kid I talk to, you have to know who you are in every room and who everybody else is in that room. It doesn't mean you got to dim your light. It doesn't mean you have to have fake modesty or humility, but you got to understand, in Cleveland, you're the 3rd quarterback. In Cleveland, you're the 5th round pick. And you're going to get that level of opportunity. You're going to get that level of treatment. You're going to get that level of respect. So when you speak, you have to speak from that place. Because whether you believe the quarterback play in whatever place is something that you're better than, at least in your own building, they don't think you're better than Joe Flacco. At least in your own building, they don't believe you're better than Dylan Gabriel.
They might believe he is, but they're not elevating him yet. They're just not doing it. Like I said, I honestly believe. I know people are trying to spend this now and try to get us further and further away on what happened before what happened. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's a situation where he turned down like Philly and Baltimore, you know, that's his decision. You know, he felt as though at that particular moment in time, he don't want to back up these quarterbacks because he feel like he's not going to play early in his career. But I'm telling you, this is a very dangerous game. Anything can happen. But he made a decision. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know, he made a decision that was best for his career at that particular time. I'm not sure if Cleveland was it, though. I'm not sure. But he might know something we don't know. And then I heard Coach Prime say that he's going to be playing pretty soon. Just watch and see. Unless Cleveland has told them something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they got a rapport with Cleveland and Cleveland say, look, man, just be patient. We writing a movie. I don't know. But like I said, if Dylan Gabriel gets that shot and he's doing very well, he's not coming out. Not for the rest of the season. He's not coming out. But I do believe it's going to be Shedeur getting a shot at some point. I don't know, man. Dylan, I don't know. But we're going to see. Let's see what else they're saying.
So for Shedeur Sanders, it's about what can I do to help Cleveland be better. When he said the other day, I'm taking every practice rep as my game rep. The scout team is game day every day. That's perfect because that's what a 5th round, 3rd string quarterback.
That was perfect because Shedeur, remember early on we were saying that he's not even getting any first team reps. He's getting first team reps now because he's giving the defense certain looks in practice. That's his job. So he is with the first team defense. So he has the benefit to just own his skills week by week. Like he said, he has 6 games a week, which is, you know, going against the defense every day. So he has that advantage, giving them certain looks, and he's learning the playbook. He's learning certain schemes, and also that defense is really good. That and iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. So Shedeur is getting the best of both worlds in that aspect. But I can understand he still is a little bit frustrated that he's not playing. In his mind, he feel like he should be playing right now. In his mind, so and he has every right to feel that way. He shouldn't be like, well, I'm not deserving to play. No, he's a gamer. He's deserving to play. He feels like it. But this is the first time in Shedeur life where he's not the first quarterback on the team. And because he has never competed before for a position. This is the first time in his life that he is not the guy on the team. Politics, everything else. You know, because the reason why I say that, because at Jackson State, I mean, all throughout high school, he's been the starter. Jackson State, he's been the starter. Nobody else was going to come in other than him. Colorado, when Coach Prime said he bringing his Louis luggage, he already got a quarterback. So he didn't have to compete. This is the first time ever he has to compete. And there really was no competition here. They didn't allow it to be a competition because we knew what happened in that last preseason game. He just got to wait. He just got to be patient and wait for something to open up. Because he do have trade value. He does. And also we're going to wait and see what Dylan Gabriel does, man. Let's see what else they're saying.
Should think, that's the way he should act, that's the way he should behave, that's leadership, that's professionalism. And I feel like this sets him back and gets you talking about something else when we should be talking about how hard he's working weekly to be the best he could be.
It's real tricky, though, because you're 100% right. What maturity has taught me, 2 things can be right.
Yeah, 2 things.
No matter how pristine his delivery is, it still is going to be analyzed, microscoped, and really observed at a magnitude that 100%. Dylan Gabriel is not, respectfully. He's 3rd on his team's depth chart, but number 1 in jerseys. He's 3rd in the depth chart, but he's the most popular player, relevant player, socially, culturally, on that.
Okay, so here's a question. Taking all of that into consideration, that's why we know we're going to see him. Because we know that pressure is not.
Did you hear what they said? Taking all that into consideration, that's how we know we're going to see him. Because he's number 1 in jersey sales. He's very popular. That is true. That's how we know we're going to see him at some point. The pressure is mounting on that team. I'm telling you right now, remember by week 5 or 6, if they have a losing record, yes, they beat that was a good win against Green Bay. But if they start losing with Dillon Gabriel losing, the fans can be like, look, man, try something else. It's not going to hurt to put Shedeur in. It's not going to hurt. And if they still don't put him in, I mean, the boo birds are coming. The boo birds are coming, and it's not like I said. They want to see him, and it wouldn't hurt at that point to put him in. It won't hurt. So he gonna get his opportunity. You just gotta be patient. Really, he does. He gonna get his opportunity, and he, like I said, he has a huge advantage right now because he's working with the first team defense, giving him looks week by week. He's competing from day one, from Monday through Saturday. He's competing, and he is learning some things that he didn't learn before when he was in college. He's learning the pro game, right? By the time he get in that game, he should be ready to go.
I'll take the more inept they are offensively, the less of an excuse you're going to have to submerge him. If you got Dillon Gabriel, you're going to throw him out there. And the only thing that could derail us from seeing Shedeur Sanders, based on what we're seeing from Cleveland's offense right now, is if Dillon Gabriel gets inserted in there first and he balls out. If he balls out and there's no reason to take him out, then you won't see Shedeur Sanders. But nobody's anticipating that will happen. They believe that Dillon Gabriel might struggle as well, and ultimately we'll see Shedeur. So knowing that, and knowing his popularity, and knowing what comes along with the name, what about not saying anything?
That's not. You're obligated to say something.
Shedeur?
He's obligated. If they ask, okay,
explain why he's obligated.
In the NFL.
Got it.
In the NFL.
Answer.
Yes.
Okay.
So in the NFL, as a player, you have to render yourself available. Mm-hmm. We all heard the quote, "I'm just here so I don't get fined."
All right, so that's what they're saying there. Yeah, he just, like I said, I know what a lot of people are saying. I'll close with this. Well, a lot of great quarterbacks had to wait. Tom Brady had to wait. A lot of Steve Young had to wait and learn under somebody. I understand that. Aaron Rodgers had to wait. I understand that. But he was projected as a first round pick, and it was through politics that he fell in the draft. That's why people keep talking about it. That's why. Now, if he wasn't projected to be a first round or second round pick, if he wasn't ever projected, then we wouldn't be talking about it. But that's why people keep talking about it, man. But shout out to Shedeur. Everything, to be a fifth round draft pick, he is hell of a talked about a lot, isn't he? It's for a reason, man. But anyway, drop your comments below. Let me know how you feel. And we'll continue this discussion. I will be back to give my take on Colorado game tonight. I will talk about that as well and give my key takeaways on how they can beat BYU, because that's going to be a hell of a test right there. But they can do it. But guys, until next one.